Truth be told, most people have never much liked intellectuals. They talk too much, respect too little, and too often threaten the powerful. Most folks want things to stay the way they are. Intellectuals usually don't, and that's more than a little upsetting. It's little wonder, then, that they sometimes meet bad ends, like Socrates, or one might even say Jesus. But true intellectuals, so we think, don't worry about such things. They inhabit a universe of beautiful ideas, one in which the dull conventions of everyday life mean nothing. They live for the perfect future, not the imperfect present, so can't be bothered with the rules that bind you and me. At least that's the story. Alas, it's not a very true one. Consider this famous portrait of Karl Marx taken by John Mayall in 1875 in London. We're used to seeing it tightly cropped like this. Surely you've seen this image before. Here we see Marx, the deep thinker, the radical philosopher, the seer of worlds to come. He has the beard of an Old Testament prophet, the unkempt hair of a Montmartre painter, and the enormous brow of someone with a huge brain. The capitalists of his day habitually wore hats, so he has none. In this restricted view, Marx is all left bank. We see him this way because that's the way socialists in the 19th and 20th centuries wanted us to see him, as a radical intellectual. The wide shot, that is, the portrait in its entirety, would have been embarrassing. For here we see nothing but Marx the bourgeois gentleman, a man with sensibilities no different than the rest of the ruling class. He's seated in a rather shop-worn, though nonetheless opulent chair, with some fine oriental draperies on his right and a covered table to his left. All of this pretension is meant to suggest exactly what you'd imagine: a townhouse sitting room in one of the better parts of town. He's outfitted in a fine suit of clothes, as if he's about to go to his club for a postprandial libation. A monocle casually dangles from his neck, suggesting a certain vanity. The purely symbolic and entirely cliché hand-in-waistcoat gesture completes the presentation. Using this image, Marx sends us a message. It's this: I'm very, very respectable. In the decades that followed, that message was erased by people who found it very difficult to respect respectability. Thus, when we think of Marx, this is the one that pops into our heads.